Mr. John Hotham's place. And all dogs are welcome.
Speak to
He tells everybody he's gone fishing. G'day, good to meet you.
G'day, Ross. How's it going? How's it going, Ross? Really good.
Oh,
Yeah.
this guy here, eh? He's a bit of a character, the way he looks at you as you come down. Yeah, and you obviously carved it.
Yes, that's from Hotham, New Zealand, Hotham.
All carved from one piece of wood. The Vikings are all part of this impressive piece of work. Only the oars are separate and everything else is in one piece. It's stunning.
It'll rain a sunny day, I know, shining down like water. I wanna know, have you ever seen the rain?
17th century piece. It's the centre of an old French wagon wheel. The spokes individually push into each of those slots. But to make that, there's a major woodworking thing, and they heat put on those rings to hold it all together.
Great.
Isn't that amazing?
Mr. John Hotham. Wow, that is quite a piece, isn't it? Did you do this one, did you?
I did. This is a piece of yew. It came from the grounds of Hever Castle.
Oh, yeah.
It was in a
Which you painted.
yeah, which we did paint.
Yeah.
But this was in a stream, and we liberated it
Yes.
and brought it back to New Zealand. And all of these carvings on it,
Yes.
you can see there's a great Australian cockroach,
Oh, yes.
a lion,
I can see the cockroach, yeah. Where's the lion?
the lion's there,
Oh, I can see the lion,
the
yes.
lion's there,
Well, here's a
on the
frog in
end,
here, yeah.
the snake going all the
that's-
way
Yeah, I can see
all
that.
the way down,
That's-
and a whale on the end.
Let's just have a look at that snake. Oh, yes.
It's all the way down,
Yeah.
and
there's
there's a condor,
Yeah. Condor, there's the bird, yeah.
with all his feathers, and then on the back,
There's a whale down there. Where did that whale go?
there's the whale,
Oh, God, it's neat.
and on the back, our carving tutor, Natanahira
Yeah, no, that's
Hona, he carved this taniwha.
Wow. And that's a carved taniwha that goes right through. Oh, he did a good job, that.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. So what's the piece called?
Well, it's just a piece of yew, Y-E-W.
Oh, yeah, and you've had it for quite a while. And you got that over in Europe, and you found it in the river.
Yes, in the river.
Golly. Wow, that's a great view here, looking out over the Waitamata. And Here's lots of John's work. You can see here he's a painter. He's very good at brush. He collects everything, all sorts of things. He found this. Gosh, it looks like my kakariki a little bit. He bought this painting, and then he found that timber floated in on the beach, and he made that frame. That's really something, John. Really impressive. And here is what's this boat here? Palmier, and you painted this one.
It was taken as a war prize from the Germans in the Second World War.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. Really?
But that boat,
yes,
it went back to the Scandinavians after the war.
Yeah.
It had no engine, and it went down in a hurricane, and they lost all hands. 179 people died on it.
Wow. Why did you paint it?
Because I was painting sailing ships anyway, like these sorts of things.
Yes.
And I did a job in Remuera, and it was in that Remuera Towers, and the lady had about 8 photos, big ones, of the Palmier. And when I said to her, "How come you've got these big photos?" She said, "My father was Captain Duncan, and he was one of the 6 captains who sailed it while New Zealand had it." And that was in the Australian outback when Michelle and I were driving around in the motorhome with our Didgeridoo. Yeah, that was just a grand old gum tree.
Stunning. That looks like the South Island.
This is all that's all Marlborough Sounds, where we had the bed and breakfast.
Yeah, stunning. Here's a classic colours.
Yeah, lovely.
Oh, but this view that you've got here. Oh, you must just dream and look out and see the sunsets. Oh, now I know these are carved pieces of John Hotham's, and I've got to ask him, there's one piece here that you bought when you were overseas. Which one was that?
We bought this at an antique fair in Richmond in outer London, and this piece was done about 1750.
1750?
They reckon this was done. Yes. So that's very old. From this, I carved this piece here out of New Zealand Pahutakawa.
It's quite heavy, isn't it?
It's very heavy. Yeah, that's Pahutakawa. And then this was one of the later pieces. I'm in a Viking mode at the moment.
Yeah.
And so this is a Viking warrior.
So basically, these are all Vikings. You get a kick out of doing Vikings, don't you?
Well, I've got Scandinavian ancestry, and Michelle is half Danish.
Ah, nice.
So
I like those pieces. They look fantastic. By the look of it, John?
Absolutely are, yes. The didgeridoo, of course, comes from Australia, and they all started off as a eucalyptus tree where the centre was eaten out by termites. And so the Aborigines made them from there. But this one is Indonesian, and it's made of bamboo.
Gosh.
So it isn't authentic as far as Australian didgeridoos go, but it still sounds rather good.
You bought this one in Australia?
Yeah, I bought this from the Aboriginal man that I had didgeridoo lessons from. And of course it'll be on the shelf for some months, and when you start playing a didgeridoo, it suddenly gets wet inside with your breath, and so all these cracks started appearing and you couldn't play it. So I filled them all with epoxy resin, and I was intending to cover it over and repaint it, but I really quite like the look of it like that. This is a didgeridoo made in Indonesia. They make it from a round piece of wood, they cut it through the middle, and then they router the whole thing out and rejoin it. Sounds quite good. Not art, the same thing. but it's not Australian.
Oh.
Not Australian. It's lovely.
Here's some nice work. And so your carving master carved this one here.
Yes. Natanahira Pona. Natanahira Pona. He did that.
Oh, that's pretty nice.
And I purchased that off him.
Wow, that's nice.
This was one that we did in class that I did. What he did, he would do his piece and then you would copy it. Now this is Manu. He was a 3-meter tanny pole that washed in on Charcoal Bay. And this is how he finished up.
The old sea bear.
Great bugs.
I paddled with John right round top of New Zealand. I had a puffin. And he had, a piece of Pahutakawa floated in. Oh, another Viking, and name Bjorn. John's latest work. And looks quite elaborate here, John. You've done a good job. Could you tell us a little bit about it?
Well, this is Bjorn, and he's traditional Viking, ready for action.
Yeah, it's quite long. What's the length of it?
It's about 3 meters with the base on.
And she's going to go down in the garden.
Down in the garden, yes.
We're going to go down the garden right now. It's going to be very interesting, I know that. John's made these pathways that actually go all the way down to the beach through the pungas, and they zigzag down the hill. Here is one of the many poles he's carved, and he's got requests of carving different fish, and so that's what he did with this pole. He put on the types of fish, shells, and everywhere you look, you see these poles and lovely pieces of art.
That's from the Camino, that's from the pilgrimage. So it's 800-kilometre walk, and from the bottom of France to the end of Spain to Santiago, every 200 to 400 meters is a marker post, exactly like that, and that's the one saying Santiago 100 kilometers.
Oh, you did the walk.
Yeah, we did the walk.
Ticky on the post. I like it.
Yeah.
Little area for little ones to play. What's that? Some kind of he's got all sorts here. Oh, neat.
There we have an archery target on there, and the kids shoot arrows from there across to the target.
Oh, they come off here out to the pirates' palisade, and then they fire arrows over to the target.
Yeah.
Gate. There's a little stream coming down. John has his own little beach here. He comes down here and contemplates any wood that comes into passing or comes into this beach gets carved. Any kind of pole, any kind of timber, John will pick it up